What's up, everybody? My name is Eliana.
And I'm Ross.
And today we're going to answer your question.
What is Ramadan?
So, my last video, I told y'all that I took a survey on various friends and family, asking them the question, have you ever heard of the word Ramadan? Well, I actually hypothesized that I would get a lot of answers that said, well, it's practiced by Muslims, it's very extremist, they starve themselves, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I had assumed that it was going to be a lot of negative comments. But to my surprise, it was actually, there was a lot of people who didn't know what Ramadan was. They had never heard of Ramadan before. Or they knew just the bare minimum. They knew that it was practiced by Muslims, and they knew that it was a month of fasting. And that was really just the bare minimum that they knew. They didn't really know why they do it. They didn't know what exactly it entitles, how long they fast, things like that. So, what is Ramadan?
Well, Eliana, I'm glad you asked. Ramadan, according to the Google definition, is the 9th month of the Muslim year, during which strict fasting is observed from sunrise to sunset. The word Ramadan is from Arabic, and it means to be hot. The lunar reckoning of the Muslim calendar brings the fast 11 days earlier each year, eventually causing Ramadan to occur in any season. Originally, it was supposed to be in one of the hot months.
Alright, so what does that mean? So pretty much, I mean, it explains it pretty well, but it is fasting from sunrise to sunset. It lasts 30 days long, so this year it started on the evening of June 28th, and it's lasting until July 28th. It's a whole month long, and we're fasting from sunrise to sunset, so it's not like we're never eating for the whole month and then we die in the end. It's not like that. So, yeah, and so the way it starts is a little tricky. I had a lot of trouble with it this year because it is based on the lunar calendar, and so pretty much what they have to do is they have to sight the moon, and as long as they sight the moon, then we can start Ramadan. Well, it was Friday night, so the 27th of June, and I was sitting there, I was waiting to sight the moon, and I wasn't sure because other areas of the world have already sighted it, but there are specific times during, like every country where they have their own times where they sight the moon. You can sight it in one country and not necessarily see it in another country. So for the USA, it did officially start June 28th. So I started fasting Sunday morning, and pretty much what is fasting? So fasting is obviously no drinking anything. You can have water, but it has to be a special type of water. It's called Zemzem water, and it's kind of like holy water. It's been blessed over. So that's made readily available to people who are in the Middle East. They don't really sell that here in America, so
You can't just go down to your local supermarket and get your Zemzem water.
yeah. So really, there's no water, there's no food throughout the day, there's no drinks at all. You're also abstaining from like sexual relations with anybody. You're abstaining from just having bad thoughts. You're not really supposed to curse. It's really a time for self-reflection and kind of conquering yourself. You're getting yourself to abstain from all these things. And yeah, so anything else you can add to that?
Ramadan is a very charitable month for Muslims. They like to show more charity than they usually do, so they give back more to the community than they normally would. That's one of the big pieces of Ramadan. They like to give back to the community.
Right, so we're not going to get into why we fast quite yet. That's going to be in a future vlog. But when I get to that, it'll help explain a little bit more as to what is the point of fasting. But the big reason people do it is because Allah asked you, and therefore you do it. You also pray 5 times a day. There's a pre-dawn prayer, and then there's like 3 during the day, and then there's one at, very late at night. But I'll get to that also during like a terminology vlog or something like that. So yeah, pretty much the only thing that happens throughout the day is you wake up really early to have your pre-dawn meal, and then you start your fast at the early morning prayer is supposed to start at 5:03 a.m. So anytime after that, you're fasting. So you don't break your fast until sunset, which, not to get confused with it being pitch black outside, that does not mean that you have to wait all day. So as soon as sunset, so what I do is I Google what time is the sun supposed to set tonight, and usually it's like 8:30, 8:40, and right at sunset I can eat. So there could still be light outside, but it doesn't need to be pitch black outside, which a lot of people will make that mistake. I'll get to that in another vlog as well. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions as far as Ramadan, and Ross already said that it is a very charitable month for Muslims. They give back the most during this month. They do a lot of volunteering, and they help the homeless and pay for their meals and things like that. But yeah, I think we've covered the basic answer as to what Ramadan is. If you guys have any other questions, I'm sure I have plans to answer those in future vlogs, but just in case, just give me a comment, leave me a comment below, and I will do my best to answer your question. And so I think next time I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit of the words, like iftar, suhoor, what does that mean, and like the different prayers and things like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed.
Feel free to like, subscribe.
Subscribe, yes, and like this video. Share it with your friends. I'll be posting on Facebook, obviously.
If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section down below.
Right. And there's one more thing that I think would really help explain a little bit about what Ramadan is. One of my favorite YouTubers did a video on something called the Ramadan Nightmare, and I'm going to leave the link below. Please watch it. It is a great watch. It starts off as kind of comical, but it ends in a very serious way. So please watch that video, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.